I have a radio show called Sex with Emily, and people are confessing their sins to me. Everything. Their desires, their wants, what they want in the bedroom, what they want out of the bedroom, how they really feel about their partner, why they might not be in the right relationship right now, how to find out what they want, how to ask for what they want in bed, why they like to spank women, everything.
Hi, here we are, Macworld 2007. Can you introduce yourself, please?
My name's Emily Morse, and I'm the host of Sex with Emily.
Okay. And so is that your day job? Have you actually managed to parlay this into a full-time gig?
It is my day job. I've really been working hard to make it a paying day job, but it is. I left all the other things I was doing, and I'm really focusing on it all the time, 24/7, day and night.
So how did Sex with Emily come about?
Sex with Emily came about from just an idea I had about doing a show about sex, relationships, dating, marriage, love. I feel like it's what most people are thinking about anyway, most of the time. Everyone's here looking for the new Mac computer, but really, at the end of the day, what are they going to do online? When do they get online? They're going to be emailing someone that they're interested in. They're going to be surfing porn. No, but really, it was just something that kept coming up for me in my day-to-day conversations. I think everyone's trying to figure it out, and I don't think there's a place for people to go for, like, real information about, you know, sex, love, relationships. I just thought, let me try to do this as a podcast. And I invited some friends over to my house, interviewed them, posted the first podcasts, and it became, you know, popular.
This is 2005.
That was in 2005. That was in August 2005. I posted the first podcast, and then we got some press, and Wired News wrote something, and then got a local story in a local magazine here, and then it just kind of took off from there.
So, for folks who haven't seen or heard Sex with Emily, give us a sort of description of what it's about.
Okay. Sex with Emily is a talk show. We like to say, I'm saving the world one orgasm at a time. We interview people, you know, we interview real people. I try to have real people telling their stories about sex, relationships. You know, wow, you know, I have a couple on, you've been married for 20 years and you still like to have sex, and how does that work? What do you do to mix it up? How do you keep it interesting? We'll have people who are online dating, you know, so I had a woman on who dated over 200 people on Craigslist. So I said, well, what's the profiles? What do you look for online in a partner? Like, how can, you know, just, you know, tricks and, you know, tips. And we have some experts on. We have therapists, sex therapists, professional dominatrix. I mean, it kind of runs a spectrum. It's like we do have, I mean, it is across the spectrum. We have some, you know, fringe, you know, dominatrix and phone sex operators, and then we have therapists, real people. We try to mix it up. Authors.
I was at the Culture Cash Salon the other night and saw you doing your thing. So what's a nice Jewish girl like you doing in a Catholic confessional booth?
How did that happen? I've never confessed myself.
Okay.
Apparently there was a priest that was supposed to be taking the confessions months ago, and they said, "Why don't we have Sex with Emily do this?" So it became a Sex with Emily confessional.
So that's not part of your regular routine?
No.
It should be. It's kind of nice.
I know, I kind of liked it, I have to say, because people do confess. I mean, I have a show where people call in and they tell their stories about, you know, whatever's happening in the world. So people are confessing on the radio or on my podcast. But this was really intense that, you know, it was an actual, you know, confessional. It was a booth. I was sitting on one side. I had a little sliding window. And I was thinking initially that people were going to sit down and they'd be like, oh, when I was 12, I stole a candy bar. You know, by mistake, I, you know, went over the Bay Bridge and didn't pay my toll. But really, people were really, I think there's something about, you know, sitting in this room and we're quiet. And I said, well, what do you want to confess? And people really opened up. I was shocked and inspired and touched.
With that, well, I know you can't reveal what was said in the confessional, but generally speaking, was it just talking about their own personal relationships and the kinds of struggles they're going through?
Yeah, I mean, it was somebody said, you know, a woman told me that she had, you know, in her mid-20s and she'd never had an orgasm with a man before. She was like, I've never told anyone that. And there's a few who told me things and they're like, I haven't never told anyone that, you know. Another guy said, you know, he thinks that he's, you know, bisexual and he hasn't told anyone about that yet. Another man confessed his stories about how he, is this bad as a priest? Are we not supposed to talk?
No,
I mean, it's how you general themes. I think there were some themes that emerged. People say, you know, I'm with this woman, she's the best, she's everything on paper, everyone loves it on paper, she's perfect, but I still want to be with other women. You know, what do I do about that?
Okay, I think you're doing pretty great. So.
Thank you.
So good luck, Emily.
Thanks so much. Good luck to you too.
Okay.